Yes, and here we are for another episode of the Real Life Game Changers. This is where we bring people who have changed the game, and we're going to share as much value as we can in this allotted time. So this evening, we have an awesome special guest in the property investing and the property development space, Mr. Samuel Leeds. Great to have you on the show.
What's happening? Good to be on the Mark Harvey Property Wealth live show.
Yeah, good to have you here. So we have got many topics that we want to get through. So just before we do that, we're both going to hit the share button. And I want anyone tuning in right now just to start tagging, just tag 10 people. Give them the opportunity to see what this is all about as we bring our predictions of what's going to happen in the property market for 2023. Both of us keep getting asked this question. I've been asked this question for a long time with all the controversy, even as far back as Brexit and lockdowns and all this craziness going on, interest rates and costs going up and values going down. So where can I find this on my own page here? Here we go. Yeah, let's hit the share button on this and get it rocking and rolling. So let's go straight in there on the top. Guys, by the way, anyone listening and watching live, just hit a comment. Whereabouts are you watching this? Are you in England? Whereabouts in England, or whereabouts in the world are you? Yeah, that's what we're looking for here. Hit the share button on here. Yeah, and then just tag at least 10 people. Just give them the opportunity to see what's going on in the property market. So let's get, we've got so much to talk about, Samuel. So let's get straight in there. What are the predictions? People are saying there's going to be a big crash. People are saying like this is the end. People are saying there's too many scams out there. We don't know who to trust anymore. People are turning against each other. So what do you see happening right now towards the end of 2022 going into 2023?
Well, for a start, historically, most millionaires become millionaires in recessions and in market crashes. So if people are scared that there's going to be a crash or scared there's going to be a recession, then really they're not property investors. They don't understand the game. We're in a recession right now. We are in a recession officially, according to the Bank of England. According to the Bank of England, it could be one of the deepest, darkest, longest recessions we've seen in over a century. So the question is, how can you get rich off of that? That's the question.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is a good question to be asking. Do you think that is what a lot of people are asking themselves? Or do you think some people have gone into defense mode and just say, how can I survive in this climate?
I think most people go into defense. Most people are afraid, and most people want to survive through a crisis. But actually, you have to thrive through a crisis. So, yeah. I mean, I'm very excited. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some things that have happened in the market, in the property industry that have hurt everybody. So, interest rates going up it's a short-term pain, because if your interest rates go up and you've got buy-to-let houses, then your rent that's coming in is the same, so your profit's less, and that's really annoying. But at the same time, it leads to opportunities because everyone's in that same game. So now you've got people in negative equity. You've now got people wanting to sell. You've got people. So the market, Mark, flipped about a month ago, literally overnight. And it went from a seller's market to a buyer's market. So previously, if you were in this game, you're trying to make money, and you're going to a estate agent saying to the estate agent, I'm looking to buy a house. I'm a young developer. I want to flip a house. What you got for me? The estate agents would say, join the queue, because I've got 27 people that are currently trying to view this house. So is that really the market that as a developer or as a property? Do you really want to be in a market where it's a seller's market, where the sellers are calling the shots, or do you want to be in a market where it's a buyer's market and everyone's scared and the sellers are scared and you can call the shots? I'd rather be in a buyer's market. A month ago, it flipped to a buyer's market. Everyone's scared. I'm very happy.
Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, between us, we train thousands of people in this field of property investing. And over the last few years, I don't know what your view is, but my view is it's like been plain sailing for people because things have been going up. This whole being able to recycle our money on buy, refinance, refurbish, refinance. So I think for me, this is my opinion on it. I think it's allowed for very lazy or lackadaisy people to have been in the game, and now the margins and the gaps have shortened. People have to be more precise. So what do you think about how it's been over the last few years to how it is now?
I mean, the last few years, it's been different every year. So when we were in lockdown, we were in a recession because people couldn't spend money, and the market was booming. Everyone was scared, but the market just continued to boom. And I think, yeah, I mean, if the market's going up, if you buy a house and just do nothing, 6 months later, you've made money. I was buying land and I was trying to get planning on the land, and the planning was taking forever. And my business partner said, at least we're making money. Because we're making money while we're waiting for the council. Whereas now it's the opposite. Now, if you buy a piece of land and then you wait a year to get planning, it probably is going to be that in a year's time, it's dropped by 5 or 10%. I don't think it's going to be a massive crash, but I do think houses are going to drop. They might crash. My prediction is they'll probably go down 10% in the next 12 months or so. So now you've got to be thinking, okay, my strategy needs to change. So what can I do different? So with buy, refurbish, refinance, yes, you're probably not going to be able to just sit and do nothing, and the property's going to go up in value. You might have a down valuation in 6-12 months, but then you're just going to have to buy cheaper. You know? Yeah,
absolutely. And I think, many people may have set their sights on a strategy with prices being a certain for the cost of the refurb and GDVs being a certain amount. And then with this change, it's caused a lot of people to shake, pull out, all the rest of it. But I don't know if it's because I'm paying attention to it, over the last few years, because my strategy has been like raise lots of investor finance, plow it into deals, recycle it, and just keep going over and over and over again. But I think more people are aware of this. More people are able to do this now. Like I said, I don't know if this is just because I'm paying attention to it these days, or it's always been like that. But like more people are able to do this. So I think, if we look at right now, the residential kind of buying has been propping up the prices. So it's like the competition for developers has come from residential buying. But now as that starts to peter away over the next few months, even more so, then it's going to come back to, well, now it's developer against developer bidding for them. And those prices will be based on, well, what can I turn it into and how much is it going to cost me to do it? So I think that's what's going to keep, like, as it drops a little bit, when like there's so many people that now know they can go and invest in property, whether they have money or not themselves, that's going to keep the prices propped up.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think ultimately you got to think about the value to be added. So if I'm looking at a property, I'm not thinking about, is this going to go up in value? What's the market going to do? I'm thinking about, what am I going to do to the market?
Yes.
What am I going to do? Because ultimately, we create our own economy. We totally create our own economy. So I'm thinking, if I'm buying a house, if I can double the value of that property, even if there's a market crash, I'm still making money. And then I'm not concerned about what's going to happen in the next 12 months. Because most of the houses that I'm buying, I'm holding on to anyway. So I'm thinking about, is it going to cash flow me positive? How can I get as much cash flow from this as possible? And that's another reason why I think HMOs, right now, everyone's saying, oh, HMOs, we're in a recession. HMOs are going to be tough. HMOs boom in recessions.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were told this 5 years ago. Don't do it. It's oversaturated and all of this.
Yeah, and look. Five. You were told that 5 years ago. 5 years ago, the average room in England was renting for £350. So you live in Derby, right? You want to rent a room in Derby, £350. Birmingham, £350 on average. Now, 5 years later, the average price for a room is £600. So room rents have shot up even through COVID, and I said they would do that. And even in this recession, the room rents will continue to rise as well. Because ultimately, when people are broke and when people are in a cost of living crisis, and when folks can't afford to pay, what's the biggest essential spend? It's your rents and your bills. Utility prices are tripling. Everything's going up. Wages are staying the same. So people are forced to have to downsize and go start living in rooms and stuff. And then the supply and the demand means if there's more demand for rooms and the room prices go up. So if you can learn to buy a house and run it as a lucrative HMO property and push the value up at the same time with the house, then regardless of whether the market goes down 10, 20%, you're still making good money, and everyone else is scared, so you get the best deals and get all the bangers. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, Spare Room, which is one of the players in the advertising of these rooms, they said the demand has been the greatest since they actually, came into fruition. Over the last few months. So we're going to get more into the predictions of 2023, all of the things to watch out for. So just as we do that, anybody watching right now, please comment, let us know where in the world you are watching this, and also put in your 2 pence worth as well. Like, what do you think's happening? Are you investing? Do you want to start investing? And tag, some people so we can get this debate going. So go ahead and set them comments off, hit the share button as well, and let's get this show rocking, shall we? So people, we were just talking before, Samuel, so like, I want to know, let's go a little bit into it. Like, there's always this news about crashing, stock markets down, cryptos, this scam's happening, that scam's happening, the world's in trouble, the world's in danger, everyone's against each other, and we kind of summed it up, like, people are addicted to this negativity. How detrimental is this at a time where it's like, man, we've got to focus on what's good here because we need to take advantage of it versus jumping on the bandwagon of the negativity?
Bad news sells. End of story. And the reason that people, the newspapers, talk about, if you look at the news is not the news, it's the bad news. Everything's bad. And the reason that is because people like that. People click that. And especially with the way that the media is today. Back in the day, people would just have their 1 or 2 sources of information, or you'd watch the TV, you'd have 5 channels. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, everyone's fighting for attention. So because of that, the media and the way, not just the media, like even YouTubers, even me, I will clickbait you into, I'll say something that sounds terrible. House price is about to crash. And I'll put me on the thumbnail going like this. Why? Because people think, oh man, that's bad. Oh, I like a bit of bad. And then I have to tell them the good. I'm glad you turned up to my bad news show. I got news. I don't know if it's bad news or good news for you, but I'm telling you, I've got good news. And then I'm gonna tell the good news. So everyone's addicted to bad news. So we hear a lot about bad news happening. However, the facts are the facts. Most millionaires are made in recessions. And what does Warren Buffett say? What's Warren Buffett doing now? Warren Buffett's investing heavily right now into family homes across America. And Warren Buffett was the dude that said, when everyone's scared, you should be greedy. And when everyone's greedy, you should be scared. So we've seen this time and time again. It's almost boring. It's just like, we've seen this happen. I've been through, this is the third recession I've been through in property. The first recession was the 2009 housing crash. I bought my first house in 2009. And everyone was telling me, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Now's a bad time. And then we had a recession in 2020 with COVID. Everyone was saying house prices are going to crash like crazy. It's terrible. I got super rich. And now we're seeing it again. It's just like, you can look back over history as well, over all the recessions. So I'm not sure. Sorry if that was your question, but
yeah, no, that's the vibe we're talking about. We're talking like people jumping on the negativity, and I think they sometimes want to use it as an excuse not to be able to go and do something. We've got questions coming in, so we will get to the questions. So keep the questions coming in. People who are watching it live, and put hashtag live if you're watching live. Put hashtag replay if you are the replay. Yeah. So this whole thing to do with negativity or what's going to happen in the marketplace right now is like people are asking, like, how do I build a portfolio? How do I develop a portfolio? If I have small amounts of money, if I've got 50,000, if I've got 100,000. Yeah. So Samuel, let's brainstorm some of these tips so people can start getting heading in the right direction.
Well, my advice, generally speaking, would be before you start trying to build a property portfolio, you should be personally thinking about making money. So if you've got 50 grand or something in the bank, sure, you can invest that money. But what I did, and what I would suggest anybody do, unless you happen to already be making hundreds of thousands of pounds a month, is you should be thinking about how can I make money, not as a property investor, but as a property entrepreneur. How can I make cash? Because the thing is, right, Mark, the average house takes about, 3 months to complete?
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, sometimes like.
If you're doing that's like standard. 3 months, and then if you're doing like a buy refurbish refinance, right? This is just my opinion. It's going to take you 3 to 4 months, usually speaking, to find the house, put your offer on, get your searches done, your surveys, get your bridge in. Months. And then once you've got the keys in your hand, you haven't made any money yet. You just bought a house. Now you've got to refurb that bad boy. It's going to take you another, maybe 6 months. It's 6 months before you're usually allowed to refinance anyway. Refinancing is a bitch. It takes months. So realistically, before you make a penny, you're talking about a year. You know what we call that? We call that slow. Super, super slow. So my thinking is, I am a fast person. When I got into property, I wanted to start making money. I got so impatient. Wind me up, right up. Seeing the solicitors taking forever. Everything taking forever. So what I would encourage people to do is you've got to think there's 2 types of income. There's fast income and there's slow income. There's fast pound and there's slow pound. I'd be thinking, yeah, I want to invest. Yeah, I want to build a property portfolio and build an empire. That's going to take forever, right? So I'd be thinking, how can I grow my portfolio, but at the same time, how can I be making quick money? Bang, 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 now. And through property, there's many ways you can do that. One of the best ways that I did, fast pound, was through property deal sourcing. So I'd go out and find deals, buy, refurbish, refinance deals. But instead of buying it and having to get a bridging loan and all that long stuff, it takes forever and sleepless nights. Find a deal. It's a good deal. Find an investor, and pass the deal to the investor and get paid a 2% fee. Every time I'm passing a house that's a 200 grand house, I'm getting paid £4,000. Now that £4,000 that I keep making every time I sell a house, it doesn't give me financial freedom. It doesn't mean that it's not passive income, but it does give me, number one, I'm now out of my job. I have time freedom. It gives you a taste for making money in property. It gives you experience. And then while you're doing that, and you keep making that fast pound, you're going to come across a deal every now and then that you think, I can't let that go. That's a peach. And that's the deal that you're going to buy yourself. So generally speaking, if there's people that are new, I would say start by, and that's just one example of making fast pound, but I would say start by making fast pound. That would be what I would say. That's again, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, good. And I think, like, there are because I've been in many different businesses, yeah, and property, and people don't like it when I say this, right? But property is the easiest business I've ever been in because everything is already there. Products there, people who want the product are there, builders are there, solicitors are there, brokers are there, people who want to lend the money are there. But everything is already there. And you just got to pull it together. Yeah, like being in the software industry, we got to develop it, we've got to QA it, we've got to test it, it's going to go wrong, we've got to fix it, then we've got to sell it. People want different features, like it's intense, man. It's intense. But like this property game is the easiest business I've been in. Yeah. But you have got to know what you're doing. But there are many ways to make money. Like you just gave one there, Samuel, and that's a great way to get started. There's also all kinds of cash flow strategies where people can start making the money. Another thing is people, and sometimes they skip this step, is knowing what strategy is right for them based on what their goals are, whether they want the money, do they need cash right now, are they building for long term?
That's true.
Both. Yeah, and it's like when I first started, I remember we were told just do one buy to let, calm down, slow down, all the rest of it. But what we actually ended up doing was one flip, 6 HMOs straight off the bat.
Wow.
Yeah, and what we learned during that process is exactly what you've said. It takes time to get the money, but then we can start generating money when the project's done from cash flow from the rent. But also we can start getting money and cash in the bank from refinances. Yeah, we can do it once we've sold a property if it's a flip strategy. Yeah, so I think people have got to understand. So, Simon or people asking these questions here, is you got to understand what it is that you need first. Do you need cash straight away? Do you want to get in full time, like Samuel's saying? Then it's a good way to do it. Some people hate their job. Some people don't mind their job. Some people can stand another 12 months of their job until their property income can surpass their current working income. Yeah, so I think that is
that's true, man. I do agree. You got to look at property as a vehicle, right? And you got to think, where do I want it to take me? And the pie of property is so big, you can chop it up in many, many, many different ways. There's enough money for everyone to get paid.
Yeah,
the management company's getting paid, the agents getting paid, solicitors getting paid, the builders are getting paid. You do joint ventures, everyone's getting paid, all from one house.
Yeah.
HMRC are getting paid many times.
Oh yeah, for sure. They'll make sure of that. But I think one of the biggest things as well is people being in property. They call it I'm in property, and they don't see results. And that's from two things from what I see. So I want to get your opinion on this as well, Samuel. So like one thing is, people are only just doing enough like to feel the pain but not get any different results. Yeah, like it's like going to the gym and just like feeling the pain because you're burning in the gym, but you didn't do enough to change your health. Yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is that they're doing the action and they are kind of like going out there viewing all of the properties, but they are just not on the track that's actually producing them results, and they're just banging their head against the wall, trying to get as much as they can, watching some videos. And by the way, watching videos, nothing wrong with it. I've done the same. I'm sure you did along your way as well. Like we watch videos, we get inspiration, we get jacked up by other people sharing the value, and that's exactly what we do as well. But at some point, they've got to say, like, am I on the right track? Am I doing the right thing? Well, what's your opinion about this?
I think you're bang on right. I mean, I think the thing is with the gym, most people's problem is not that they don't go to the gym or they go to the gym just sometimes and then they quit. Most people's problem is that they just spend so much time thinking about going to the gym, right? So if you say I want to go for a run every day, I'm gonna go for a 1 mile run every day at 6 a.m. and you set your alarm at 5:15. You're gonna do a bit of meditation, have a shower, go for a run, and your alarm goes off, and you're like, oh, do I really want to? Oh, you snooze it. Oh, no. And then you don't ever go for that run. You just spent 45 minutes thinking about going for the run, but you never actually did it. You'd have been better off not to think about it, just have a quick run. That's that. And I think in the same way, a lot of people, when they make phone calls to estate agents, they'll have a list of 10 agents. Thinking about it, and then they'll start making a spreadsheet. And but they're actually doing anything. They're just thinking about it. And then they'll think like, why am I not getting any results? Or they'll make, some people say to me, they'll be like, Samuel, I made a bunch of phone calls to agents No one's interested in selling at the moment, or there's no motivated sellers at the minute. Or I rang a bunch of landlords about rent-to-rents, and they're not interested. And I'll be like, okay, how many people did you call? Oh, I called a whole bunch of people. How many though? Oh, 2 or 3. Was it 2 or was it 3? 2. Okay. How long did you spend on the phone? Get your call history out. 2 minutes. So you're telling me after 2 minutes of actual proactive work, you're saying there ain't no one in Birmingham. I'm done. I'm throwing the towel in. After 2 minutes, you are the business owner. Imagine if you hired an employee and they wanted to throw the towel in after 2 minutes work. You'd fire them. You should fire yourself. Get a whole new you, because you suck. So I think a lot of people, they don't realize that to get results, you do have to put some work in. People say to me, is property investing hard or is it easy? And it's like, I don't even know anymore. Everything's hard. It's hard going to the gym and having a 6-pack. But it's also hard being fat. Break chairs, embarrassment, get chapped legs, out of breath. It's hard. It's just a different kind of hard. And it's hard being rich and successful, making millions and millions and millions of pounds. I know about that, and it's hard. But it's also hard being poor and having a job. So you just got to choose what's your mountain, and then what do I want to do? Choose your mountain and then just climb to get to the top, and don't turn around. Just keep on climbing, one foot in front of the other, and then you will get there eventually.
And I think people underestimate like the amount of mindset, because just while you're thinking that, like literally after my dinner, Nikki said to me, can I change Theo's nappy? And I thought, you know what? It's hard to get my ass off the settee here, go get the nappy, change the stinky thing, and I had to snap out of it and just pick it up and do it. And once I got up and did it, then I'm in the role. And you just reminded me of the whole phone call thing. I was literally we were doing a training event just a week ago, and very quickly I would say, hey, Kerr, let's find an area, let's find an agent. And I heard someone, I think in the first couple of rows, they went, he's gonna call them. And I called it out, and I said, did somebody just say, like, oh, he's gonna call? Did somebody just say that? And it was like, yeah, I was gonna say that. And I'm thinking, what am I supposed to do? Did I not look on Rightmove long enough? Did I need to be here longer? Do I need to look at Google longer? Do I need to look at the list longer? It's like the first thing I want to do is call them to make sure I know what product that we need to produce. And you've got to get that time on the phone. But I think people make out that it's such a burden or a problem or a hassle, and they forget they're just talking to another human being, and that this whole process can be a really fun process, and is a really fun process. People like, they say, is it hard? Is it, if like at the end of the day, it's just another thing to do. Like, whether I'm cleaning my bin out or whether I'm making millions, it's what I make of it. Some people, they find being on the phone or having a business, they can make it a burden. And for the little things, or it can be the other way around. Like, they don't want to do the little things, but they'll love being on the multi-million-pound negotiation. So we got another question in here. How long do you need to own a property before you're allowed to flip it?
You don't even need to own it before you flip it. You could flip it on an option agreement and literally have it touch your HMR, touch you for seconds. You can sell it straight away. I mean, you're gonna have to pay stamp duty, but there's no rule. If you're refinancing it, a lot of lenders will make you wait a little bit, usually about 6 months. Most lenders will make you wait 6 months. But if you want to flip it, do it straight away. Same day.
Yeah, so I think at one point they really made that rule really hard on the refinancing. But like you say, now it's only certain lenders' criteria, and depending on how you purchased it, what work you did in the first place when it comes to refinancing from one product to another, there are different ways. So it is subject to what product you're on, whether it's a bridge loan going to a full-term mortgage, whether it's the same lender, whether it's a different lender. Is there anything else you're aware of, Samuel, in that, in the refinancing?
Yeah, I mean, often there are some lenders, like for instance, Precise Mortgages. I know have got a product where they'll let you refinance it before 6 months is up, and there are some. Another one was Kent Reliance. Kent Reliance have got some products. But the thing is, what I found is you're so limited in which lenders you can use. If you just wait 6 months, you're going to have a whole host of lenders. Whereas if you try and refinance it before 6 months, like after 2 or 3 months, you're going to usually pay a higher interest rate. So in my experience, generally, it's not worth trying to get it out really quick. I just let the 6 months happen. That's just my experience. I guess if you've got really expensive bridging on it or something, and you just want to do it straight away, I guess there's a time and a place. But generally speaking, I think it makes sense to wait and open yourself up to more lenders.
Yeah, I think though. Again, I think we do different strategies between us, but like one strategy for me in the beginning was just to buy, refurbish it, and refinance it as quickly as possible. We was in like aggressive growth mode. But then I got to a point where I realized, like, hey, what's the rush, man? Like, get it tenanted, enjoy a few months of fully occupied with a lower mortgage payment because it's only on a low bridge loan. Then, refinance it, got nice, lovely ASTs, real ASTs, because I know not everybody does that, which is crazy. Like real ASTs, real rental agreements to get a nice, chunky refinance. And then we start paying a higher mortgage rate because obviously now the loan is bigger. But I mean, are you doing something similar on those strategies, or what's people that you're working with?
Are you talking to him or are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Oh, to me? Yeah. So my latest project is a commercial building that we bought, which we got on a lease option agreement. We just got planning permission accepted to turn it into 48 apartments. So the thing is this: a little tip with planning permission. If you are getting planning permission and the deal relies on getting planning permission, I would always suggest getting it on an option. So, because if you buy something, we got a lot of land. So I've got 8 pieces of land at the moment that I'm in the process of getting planning on and doing stuff with. But planning can take a long time. So, and you can just be told no. So get it on an option, then get the planning, and then purchase it. So we got an option on it for 972 grand. It's called Eagle Works. It's a factory in Wolverhampton, and we paid 25 grand cash. Got an option, got 48 apartments approved. Then bought it for 972 grand. We just had a valuation from a chartered valuer with a 6.6 million GDV. So that's going to be like a couple million profit, which is really exciting. It would be a couple of years before it's all completely finished. So I think development is where the big money is. But again, as I said earlier, it's a nightmare. It takes forever. It's slow. So in my opinion, you want to be doing the big stuff, cool, but you want some trading income as well. You want some quick money, quick deals, cash, because cash is king. And then dump that cash into some of the big deals. Like rowing a boat. You want to row a boat with 2 oars. If you're just doing big deals, developments on its own, you're going to go around in circles. Whereas if you're just doing trading income, you're just selling deals and doing rent to rents and you're making money, you're making money, you're going to go around in circles. Because you want the two together. You want to make money, then chuck it into some developments. And that's how you get rich.
Yeah, I think it really does come back to this whole what strategy gives me the impact to like hit goals, and goal setting, small setting, like loads of people come up with loads of different ways to do it. But people just like, they come to me, I don't know about you, so people come in and like, I'm going to do service accommodation. Oh, I'm like, oh, fantastic. Why? Oh, because I like service accommodation. Yeah, well, so why? You know, and then I get to their goals, and really they just want to quit their job as quickly as possible. And they were going to like start buying up places and put it into service accommodation. Yeah, where we realized, well, actually, you just want to make some cash. So not just restrict oneself to service accommodation. There are other, like you said, deal sourcing, deal packaging. It could be a rent to rent, a HMO, might be a little bit quicker, might be a bit easier, less systems and mechanisms in place to do these type of things. But then I might have some bigger goals where I do want to put money into some longer term things that take 6 months, 12 months, 24 months to come to fruition. We've got to fill all the cups.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you just buy a house and rent it out, you're done now. In my opinion, like the average house is about £300,000. The average rent is £1,000. With interest rates at 6%, if you buy a house and your mortgage is 225 grand, your mortgage payments are going to be more than the rent. So you've got to think creatively about expanding your toolbox, because what worked 10, 20 years ago doesn't work now. I think now there's massive opportunities, but it's totally different market, you know. So I'm enjoying doing new things, because even what I was doing, I've been investing in property now for like 13, 14 years full time. But what worked when I started doesn't work anymore.
I think
I wasn't doing. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I think what worked 2 or 3 years ago, where people created their whole strategy around money in, money out, pulling all their money out of the deal. They've only got this pot of money to go. Like if you only solely rely on that one deal where money is in the deal, you're done then as well.
You've got to be creative. You've got to be educated. You've got to have exit strategies and exit strategies to the exit strategies. But you know, I mean, damn, like on my YouTube channel, I'm documenting deals I'm doing constantly, and not just me, but also people that I'm working with. And every week, you know, people are making tens of thousands of pounds a month profit, starting from nothing. And I think that, you know, it's very, very, very possible. It's very, very, very doable. But you can't be doing what your parents did in the 90s. 100%.
For sure. So I think, you know, there is a big shortage if we look at the grand scheme of the thing of people wanting to be in property. Yeah, some people, they never get started because they just don't pull the trigger. Some people, they, you know, kind of get started but don't do any deals. But then the rest of the people that do deals, there's so many people that are not making money. And on the surface, it might like look like they're making money, but they're not making real money. You know, like they'll say, oh, you know, my cash flow is X, Y, and Z based on fully occupied rent and all the rest of it. But they're not really making money.
I can't talk about that, Mark, because everybody I'm hanging around with is making crazy good money.
Yeah, I'm not questioning whether that's happening or not. But what I am saying is making money on the surface versus making money like, you know, I'm really making a living on here. I know how I'm running it as a business. I know how to pull money out. I do honestly, my heart goes out to some people. I'm not saying it's anyone in your community. I'm not saying it's anyone in real life community. I'm just saying there are people out there that they never follow through, and they never got the follow through. They never got, you know, oh shit, what do I do after that then? Like, how do I make that work? You know? Yeah, and they don't know how to run it as a business, and they start getting taxed left, right, and center, and they don't know. And then a rule changes. You know, when the rule changed, you know, oh my goodness, then these guys, you know, all of a sudden wiped out. Then the interest goes up. Like you say, all these people that were just sitting on buy-to-lets making a few £100s, boom. As soon as that their fixed rate runs out, now what do? They're going to sit there losing money every month, or are they going to sell it? Can they sell it? Are they able to sell it? Are they got to sell it for less money?
Someone asked me, what new opportunities and strategies are you seeing right now in the current environment? Well, for a start, permitted development, which is relatively new. And I mean, again, they changed the rules again just in 2020 and loosened up a lot with planning permission and what you can do with permitted development. That's huge. The fact that you can turn office space into residential without getting planning permission is huge. I think another thing that's huge as well is Article 4. There's two types of Article 4, but Article 4 within HMOs. You know, I mean, I was buying a lot of houses, turning them into HMOs. And then Article 4 would come in, but I've got grandfather rights, that now the competition's gone. There's still areas like that where you can do that, which we are. I also think service accommodation, I think, is huge. I mean, it's just nuts how much money people are paying to stay at. You can literally rent houses out. We've got normal houses. They're not fancy holiday lets. They're not on a beach. We've got normal houses in places not even far from Newmark. We've got a house in Lichfield that was just a regular house with a rent of 700. We've now got an Airbnb and it's making $3,000 a month. And we've had that 2 years. Like, that's huge, you know? So I think, and also the tax benefits from strategies like that. So, you know, when you kind of just test the waters a little bit, there's a lot of things where you can make huge money.
I think there's not enough people doing it. I think, like you say, there is so many ways. There's so many people that are. There's so many deals to be done. There's not enough people to do them. Yeah, and John Paul is someone in our community. Is massive on service accommodations. I think he's just joking, saying stay away from service accommodation.
Dude, man, wait till you see my Evivo channel manager. I think is he doing something really well in service accommodation?
Yeah.
Okay. He's saying stay away. That's another thing as well. Like, John's obviously playing around. John's doing really well with service accommodation. He's joking around, but he's saying like, nah, it's rubbish. But there's a lot of people that actually do that in real life for real. You know, they'll be making a lot of money, but they will hide it. Don't talk about it because they don't want everybody to do it. Or they'll overcomplicate it to make themselves look really smart to stop you doing it. But me and Mark are sharing
everything. That is another thing. People always, I'm sure you get the same kind of questions as well. They're like, well, if it's that good, why are you telling everyone about it?
Yeah. No, I hear that a lot. I mean, my answer to that is because if I'm doing service accommodation successfully in a few areas, the world is a big enough place. You know, there's enough deals to go around for many people. So I'm not threatened. I don't think competitively. In fact, I just uploaded a video literally just 2 minutes before me and Mark started doing this called I Want to Give You My Money. Okay. This is me giving out over £1 million cash. To who? To my students that have found deals from me sharing and teaching. Now I'm putting money in and partnering. So that means that I'm getting paid, but I'm not having to be the person that's doing everything. So that's a joint venture. So the amount of joint ventures and the opportunities that I get as a result of doing podcasts like this, going on YouTube, running programs, the networking, the fun, it is absolutely incredible. So, and also it's a mission, right? Sharing and teaching and seeing people win and collaborating. You know, people sometimes wonder why I'm not retired. What, Samuel? Why don't you just retire and do nothing and just sit and listen to the birds all day? Well, because that's boring. This is fun. So there's many reasons.
For sure. Yeah, and I think what makes it so interesting. I just want to tell everyone. Like, I grew up on a council estate. Nobody ever told me anything about business. My family wasn't in business. You know, nobody was in business. Everyone was against everything, and you can only do it if you're lucky. But I tell you one thing that changed it for me, because I was very competitive when I was a kid. You know, if I was going to play football, we would literally walk home from football. I would wait until my friends had gone around the corner. Then I would literally run back to the football pitch to just go and train by myself, because I didn't want them to be like, oh, you know, Mark's putting extra work. I didn't want them to see that and then put extra work.
Yeah.
I say, tell you the thing that changed it for me is there was bargain booths, tiny little bargain booths in Mount Sorrel where I used to live. And just obviously they're selling beer and they've got a little bit of bread and they've got a little bit of groceries. And then I kept seeing this Porsche and I thought it was the customers. And then one day I seen the person who runs the shop get into this Porsche Turbo 911. And I'm thinking, hold on a second, something is not right. You know, what's going on here? So then I start asking questions. Yeah. And then I find out actually this business is doing really well. And that's when I got that whole concept of the Aladdin's cave. And I'm thinking, this is a tiny little shop. I sat outside the shop and I watched how many people come and go just in 1 hour. Just in 1 hour, many people came and went.
Yeah.
And then I realized the same is for everything. You know, like a construction job, because when I left school, I was in construction. It's like there's enough jobs to go around for everybody to do. So I kind of carried that in. When I started investing in property, I was part of some groups, and they would like not tell you where they're investing their deals. They would tell you about a deal, but they couldn't name it. They couldn't say where it was. They couldn't even tell you what fucking country it was in. Yeah, and I'm thinking, what is this? And so when I actually started, we started this saying, yeah, it's in there. Well, you want to come and see it? Yeah, everybody come there. And actually, we had so many people flood into Derby because we were so open about, hey, look, this is what's working in Derby.
Yeah.
Hundreds of investors started coming in. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can sell them deals and shit.
Even to this day, it doesn't bother me. I started buying them on this street, and you know, but we were buying loads of them on this street, and then all of a sudden, people were like bidding for the same properties. I just thought, yeah, fair enough, all good.
Yeah,
you know, there's plenty.
100%, man. I'm down for that.
There's so many. I mean, here we go. We talked about a few different things. Our predictions for 2023. We're going to sum it up now. I know we've both got things that we've got to move on to here, but I've got 2 more questions.
Oh, man. Make it quick, because I do have to go in a minute, but go ahead.
Absolutely. So, you know, first of all, before I ask these questions, thanks for coming on. Been awesome. Thank you so much. We've spread the light even more. So here's 2 questions. First question. Yeah. I just want to know, like, hey, listen, let's say you got a microphone that can translate across all the different countries, languages right here, right now. What is your 30-second message if you could reach all the people?
Is if you just focus on 4 things, you'll win in business. Those 4 things are action combined with belief, combined with persistence, combined with knowledge. Those 4 things, you just think about those, you'll win, and you'll win big.
Nice. Love it. Here's my last question for you, Samuel. In our community, we have a saying that you got to do the right thing for the right reason. Now, why is that?
Sorry, there's a saying you got to do the right thing for the right reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea why they say that or whether I even agree with it. I actually don't agree with it.
Okay, so what's your opinion on doing the right thing for the right reason?
I believe in doing the right thing, but the reason, who knows what the reason is? Who even, apart from God, sometimes even yourself, you don't even know why you're doing what you're doing. But you just have to think, am I doing the right thing? Should I do this? I might not want to. I might forgive my enemy, even though I don't want to, even though I know it'll piss them off. But I'm going to do the right thing anyway. It doesn't matter what the motive is. It matters what you do.
Nice. Thank you so much. I love it. So you've been listening to Mark Harvey and Samuel Lees on the Real Life Game Changers. Samuel, once again, thank you for coming on, sharing the love and the light and the wisdom.
I appreciate you, Mark. You keep on doing what you do, my brother, and have a wonderful evening.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will see you next time.